So, yesterday we were talking about how to speak. If we develop this quality, it's a very nice quality to have, is to speak when required and don't speak when not required. Very simple. And if you speak, just speak Dhamma, otherwise don't do anything at all. So, if we can do that, what happens? Then the Vitakka Vichara will go away. So, out of the three Sankhara, we have Kaya Sankhara, Vachi Sankhara, Mano Sankhara. So, the Kaya Sankhara is Asapasa, in breath, out breath. The Vachi Sankhara is the Vitakka Vichara, and the Mano Sankhara is perception and feeling. So, to cut out the perception and feeling, first we have to cut out the Vachi Sankhara. Okay, let's say I go to a retreat, maybe Goenka retreat or some retreat. If I don't have to speak for those number of days when I am there in the retreat, it cuts out Vachi Sankhara. Because there is no thinking and pondering. There's nothing to think, there's nothing to ponder over. That means I don't have to make words to speak to someone. So, in that way, I will not be having Musavada, Pisunavacha, Parusavacha, Sampapalapa. The first thing. And then, because of that, I become mindful of every other activity. So, if I speak more, hunger will be more. If I speak less, the hunger will be less. Okay. The advantage of doing this is you will never get tired. The maximum tiredness happens when we speak because we have to think and ponder. Now I have to think what to speak. I have to ponder over what to speak. Like, yesterday I was having this session in the night. There's too many talks, too many discussions. So I need to think, okay, now what I should tell this person, what should I tell that person. So it's an exhaustion, basically. So if I don't have to do that, then the thinking and pondering is gone. Another thing, pursuing something also requires thinking and pondering. Meaning, if I want to pursue any material possession, I need to think and ponder, think and ponder, think and ponder. So the Vitakka Vichara is going to be there all the time. So what I can do is I can cut out Vitakka Vichara. I'll only speak when required and not speak at all when not required. So in that case, the energy is saved. If I can save the energy, then that's the best thing I can do. So what he says here in this Vassa Samachara Nidesana, Adi Desana. So Adi means others. So any Samachara, anything that requires some interaction, some going through, how you can do it. So just don't get involved. Okay, and after this speech he's saying, and moreover, it's when someone is honest and faithful. They don't use deceit, flattery, hinting, belittling, and they don't use material things to chase after other material things. They guard the sense door, eat in moderation. They're fair, dedicated to wakefulness, tireless, energetic, meditative. They have good memory, eloquence, range, retention, and thoughtfulness. They are not greedy for sensual pleasure. They are mindful and alert. Giddha is actually greed. So, Kamesu Giddha. That means not greedy. Okay. So, when I see an object, I speak to the object. So there's a speaking. If I don't do that, then that much energy is saved. So I need to develop that ability. So what Sariputta explains is in Buddha Sasana, for everyone, he teaches like this. So you will become a person who will talk only when required, otherwise. You know that there's no point in talking to someone just to lose the energy. That's not required. Any questions or shall I proceed? It's very simple one. There's nothing. Yes.
What does this range mean? Eloquence range. What does range mean?
Okay, so let's go through the Pali. So then it's saying labham nijakka sanko indriyesu guttadvaro bhojana mattenutta samakari jagariyanu yoga manyutto atandito aradhaviryo jai means meditative. Okay. Satima kalyana patibhano gatima dhitima matima. That means they, if you take this kalyana patibhano, he's put that range because within that range of the person's what a dhiti, there is no English word suitable for dhiti. Means one who is determined how long can he go, how far can he go. So they have put it as a range, dhitima. So if we were to go and look at that text, like we do this.
But in terms of location, I think it corresponds maybe more to the retention as the sequence.
See, like this gatima. Gati, you know that, right? But you see here, it says of memory retention and all that. But gati is not that. Gati becomes like a destiny. Okay, so then some English words would not be perfect matching to whatever. So what has happened is that he has put at Bhikkhu Bodhi has put here, or Sujata has put there whatever he thought nearest in the meaning than the actual meaning. So that's the reason if we were to have a good knowledge of Pali, in these cases, it becomes very helpful. Because like in the Indian languages, we have all of these. We have Jahi, Sati is Sati anyway, Kalyana Patibhano. Now, what brings goodness? Okay. Then Gatima, Dhitima, Matima. Mati means intelligence actually. Okay. Nacha Kame Sugiddho. So we are talking about, see here, Matima, they have put it as thoughtfulness. And Dhitima, they have put it as retention. Gatima, they have put it as a range. Okay.
How would you explain Gatima and Ditima?
Gati is what? Destiny. Basically, where are you going? So what's the maximum you can go forth? So let's say I'm talking to someone. What's the max? There's always a max, right? You'll not go beyond that. And that's the reason he's put the range. That's your range. Meaning, before Mara takes you on that other path, how far can you go? And that is dhiti. Dhiti means you determine, oh, this is what I can do. Okay. Matima. Mati means intelligence. So I use my intelligence. Nacha kameshu gitto. I'm doing all of this to not have greed or kama. Few examples to make you understand or make anyone understand. Now you see here, I should have jhai, aradha viryo. That means the energy is always there. Aradha viryo. That means I'm having full of energy. Jhai is meditative. Doesn't mean closed eyes meditation. It means I'm meditative. Okay. Now, in the Aganya Sutta, Buddha says that earlier they were called jhaika. That word jhai means meditative. If you are meditative, you have satima. And if that is true, then you will be included, attached to, pati is to bond, to attach, to kalyana, to goodness. So let us take an example. this coming Sunday, I'm going there. Okay. Now these 50 plus people are there. Let's take some girls, unmarried, let's say on the age of 25 to 35, are also there, apart from them. Now, it so happens the eyes would like to go towards those young girls. So, what happens? It means that the virya is gone, right? Then I'm not in meditation. Then the sati is gone. Then instead of becoming kalyana, it is no akalyana. That is no kalyana, no goodness. Now the gati is where? I've already gone into the territory of the Mara. So that gati ma is to cut. So cut something where it doesn't take you to the other side of it. Like dhamma or all of these sammas. Already if you say, there are some ma where it is cutting. There's some where there's no cutting. So we need to see in this particular case, gati is the word. But he's saying gati ma. You're aware of the range at which you can go. Beyond that, if you go there, you're danger. In the same dhitima, you should know how much to comprehend, how much to see. And then if you go beyond it, it makes no sense. So you will adjust your way of doing. And then mati, intelligence. Use your intelligence to what is required. Like that. Okay. So this is unsurpassable. Meaning, this many things no other tradition would know, is what he's saying. Yes.
So a lot of these, what's mentioned here, aren't exactly speech. So I'm wondering why it's put in
No,
this
no, that
section.
is, he says adi. In the beginning itself, he puts, right? Bhasita adi. I've already told you, right? Bhassa samacharadi desana. Adi means others. He has included both, all kinds. He has used samachara. Samachara means in Indian languages, samachara means news. Another meaning is sama achara. Like in Karani Metta Sutta, the sama achara, doing it correctly. Here also it would mean two things. One, to do it correctly, or when you are involved with something. So he is saying that you are not involved with any one of these. Or when you are involved, you are careful about it. So he is saying, aparam panabhante etadanuttariam yatha bhagava dhammam desati purisa sila samachare. Here the samachara is about practicing, proper practice. So this he is giving all of this. Yeah, any questions from anyone? All good? Okay. Then we come to this one, Anusasana Vidhana Desana. Anusasana means dispensation. Okay, what is the dispensation? Or what are the instructions? So, aparam panabhante etadanuttaryam yatha bhagava dhammam deseti. sasana vidhasu. How does he instruct? How does he teach? Chatasso imabhante anusasana vidha. There are 4 types. Janati bhante bhagava aparam puggalam pachattam yoniso manasikar. Ayam puggalo yatha nusittam yatha anusittam tatha patipajjamano tinnam samyojananam parikhaya sotapanno bhavisati. So the first one is that Buddha can apply his mind on yoniso manasikar. He'll see the origin of that person. And he sees that this person, he can end 3 fetters and he can become a sotapan. So he can know. Now the question comes, can a Sakadagami or Anagami and Arhat can know? And the answer is yes. Okay. How? Like in this, if I see someone and I say that he's a Sotapanna? Yes, it's possible, provided that person stays with that person for few days to few months to observe what he's doing. Because this person who, if it is Sotapanna, it will become difficult for him to make out whether the other person is Sotapanna, but if some other, that if the person is an Sakadagami, then he can know that this person is a Sotapanna. He can put his mind to this person and see what is the state of his mind, of this person's mind. And he can find out whether he is going to be released with 3 fetters if he's still not a Sotapanna, or already he has become a Sotapanna. So a lower being cannot know the higher, but a higher being can know the lower. In the case of Samma Sambuddha, he can know about everyone. That's only different. So in the case of Arhat, if that person spends time with Arhat, and he can observe. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think in this time the Buddha can, even before instruction and practicing, he already see the potential.
That's
For us, it's way. It takes time to see.
That's the reason I told you. In the case of Buddha, it is instantaneous. There's no need for him to say, okay, sit down, we'll sit for 1 week, 10 days, let me see. I'm saying, apart from Buddha, can we also do it? Yes, you can do it if you are on a higher level than that person who has come to you. But it takes time for you because you have to spend time with that person. Or he has to basically spend time with you. As an example, let's say I spend time with Shreyas. Meaning Shreyas comes and stays with me for a few days. And I don't go to work, neither he goes to work, we only do this. And then we keep on observing each other what we are doing. And then it is possible to find out that whether he is a Sotapanna or what level is he in. But in the case of Buddha, it's instantaneous. Because his Yonisa Manasikara is so sharp that he can see it without any distortion. Ayam pukkalo yatha anusitam tatha patipajjamano tinnam samyojananam parikhaya sotapanno bhavisati abhinipata dhammo niyato sambodhi parayano. That means he is not going to go to the lower realms of existence. That's what Buddha can find out. And he says that Janati bhante bhagava param puggalam pachattam yoniso manisikara. See, now you see here, the applying mind is put there, but yoniso manisikara is not applying mind. It's about proper reflection. Yoni is the womb. Yoniso is coming to the root. Manasikara is just manasikara. It's a mind. So you put the mind to the origin, back to the origin. That means how this being came into existence. So Buddha can see how this being came into existence. In our case, we can see the individual being there instead of how the person came into existence. So we require time to basically understand everyone. And in his case, he's going back to the Yoniso Manasikara. I am Puggalo, so we looked into it. He's saying, I am Puggalo yathanusitam tatha patipajyamano tinnam samyojananam parikhaya raga dosa mohanam tanutta sakadagami bhavisati. Tanutta, reduced. Tanu is little. Tanutta is only little left. So the gross Kamachanda Vyapada is gone. The subtle Kamachanda and Vyapada has remained. Now the question comes, what is gross Kamachanda Vyapada? The gross one is when you see a person, you get attracted to that person. Physical. It's gone. When you see an ice cream, you get attracted to ice cream or whatever. Food, clothing, whatever it is. Like, and your son is now playing baseball and he's cycling. He's doing, he's on a bike, he's doing a lot of things. So then you tend to take that as your passion, let's say. You would also like to play baseball. You get interested in that. And then you join a league. That means you are in Kamachanda. Even though you're a Sotapanna, you can play that. There's nothing wrong with it. But in the case of Sakadagami, he would see nothing in that. Whether in him doing it or his son or daughter doing it, he just takes him to that place but doesn't get interested. Now the question comes in that case that shouldn't I take pictures of my son playing? Yes, you can. Shouldn't I post videos? Yes, you can. Provided you are not really enjoying it inside. So the gross is gone, subtle remains. What is subtle? Subtle in the sense of the jhanic factors that remains. So you are with subtle karma means that you remember things when it was good. And you can go back to that place like Hawaii, as an example, or whichever place you like. And then you have a subtle enjoyment there, including jhanic. Okay. Now, the gross and the subtle is that in gross you are taking the forms which are seen. In the subtle, you are taking those which cannot be seen but can be felt. Like I go to Eagle Creek, let's say in Kentucky. So there's a place where we had gone, Eagle Creek, or in Colorado, let's say. So then if you go there and then I start enjoying, let's say I go to some springs here, then I'm enjoying the place and all that. So what's that I'm doing? I'm just having a subtle enjoyment. The subtle one remains, the gross karma is gone. The subtle vyapada remains, but the gross vyapada is gone. Meaning, I feel this person is earning more or doing this and that. I don't know how he is getting promoted, etc. So that's the subtle. The gross is let him die, let this happen to him, let that happen to him. So that wouldn't be there. Okay, so the Kamachanda and Vyapada would reduce. So this is saying Raga Dosa Mohanam. Moha, Raga Dvesha Moha is subtle. The Tanu, reduced. Little. Sakadagami Bhavisati. Sakideva imam lokam agantva dukkha santam karisati. Dukkham santam karisati. So he comes only to this world, womb existence only once more. And he'll extinguish from there. No need to go into any other realms. And third one. Ayam puggalo yatha anusittam tatha patipajyamano panchanam oram bhagyanam samyojananam parikhaya opapattiko bhavisati tatha parinibbai anavatti dhammo tasma loka. So they become opapattika. Once the person becomes opapattika, there is no way he can come to the womb. That's a permanent thing. He can't come. Now we can ask this question. That means if somebody is born in Deva realm, why are they coming back then? Because they have fetters. They have Kamachanda and Vyapada. So if the Kamachanda and Vyapada are not at all there, 5 fetters are gone. 5 lower fetters. 3 are gone, Sotapanna. The other 2 Kamachanda, Vyapada, reduced. But here it is completely washed away. So the Opapattika, once it happens, there is no way they can come back to the womb existence because you require Kamachanda and Vyapada to be there. So they can't. So then he knows he's an Arhat. Ayam Puggalo Yata Ansittam Tatha Patipajyamano Asavanam Khaya Anasavam Cheto Vimuktim Panya Vimuktim Dikteva Dhamme Sayam Abhinya Satchikatva Upasampajya Viharasi. Now it's extinguished with both Cheto Vibhukti and Panya. Okay. So these are the four types of phala, fruit, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, and this is how we can make out. So when I want to see someone or somebody wants to see me, they have to see whether on Kamachanda footing only. In my case, Kamachanda and Vyapada. If I say I have reached till Anagami, then Kamachanda Vyapada. If I am Sakadagami, reduced Kamachanda Vyapada. If I am a Sotapanna, good amount of Kamachanda Vyapada is there. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I'm first.
Yeah, sure. So you are first. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go first. So in Buddha Dhamma, right, there's no such thing as deterministic, right? There's no such thing as 100% certain, right? Yet Buddha is able to, let's say, predict, right? Let's say the previous Buddha, when he saw Gautama Buddha, he's able to see after all these time he's gonna become a Buddha. Is he necessarily 100% gonna be that? Because it depends on the intention of that individual at that very moment, right? When he's on his path, there's moment where he's challenged, right? So things can be this way or that way. So I guess this prediction is based upon, great probability that's going to turn out this way rather than, let's say, 100%.
Let me give you what it really means. There's nothing called absolutism in Buddha teaching as far as Loka and Jiva is concerned and Tathagata and all of that, 10 questions is concerned. That means Antava Loko, Anantava Loko. If somebody were to ask, is finite, world is finite and world is infinite, Buddha won't answer that because there's nothing absolute about it. Why? Because Loka is created out of 5 senses. If somebody were to ask, Antava Loko is as wrong as Anantava Loko. So he won't answer that. Tat Jivam Tat Shariram, Anyam Jivam Anyam Shariram. Right? If somebody asks, the Sharira, body, and Jiva can be called as a soul, can be called as a being, can be called as whatever, are the same. Tat Jivam Tat Shariram. Means Jiva and Sharira are like this. This is Jiva, this is Sharira. So they are like this. Or Anyam Jivam, Anyam Shariram. This is one thing and this is another thing. Buddha will not answer that because that becomes absolute. You take one stand. Either you agree this or you agree that. Buddha will not answer anything. Sasattava loko, asattava loko. Sasatta. Is it true? Is it real? Is the 6 senses real? In the Buddha Shasana, the loka is defined by 6 senses. Like in other tradition, other religion, the loka is real. So there's a difference between Buddha's way of applying things versus any other religion. When we say world, we don't treat world of senses. World is created out of senses. We take world exists and I'm enjoying through the senses. You got the point. There's a huge difference there. If I say I am in US, US has been existing for long. But now I'm in US. That means I'm seeing like San Francisco or Chicago or this place, that place, wherever I'm in, through my eyes and ears and nose and tongue and body and mind. But US has been there. That's absolutism. Because the loka is real. So sattava loka, loko, asattava loko, asattava loko. It means world is unreal. Like in the case of Shankaracharya. He would take the other one. He makes world is unreal. So he's taken a stand. So another scholar will say world is real. Got the point? So Buddha wouldn't go on this. But coming to this is not tetralemma. See, in Pali and in Sanskrit, during those times, there were argument called as Chatushkoti. 4 types of revealing, wherein you have to take one quadrant and fight. If you can't do that, then you go to second quadrant. If you can't do that, go to third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So people used to fix these people who are spiritual leaders in either one of the quadrant and saying that you tell me whether this is there or not there. Just tell me yes or no. I don't want any explanation from you. So that Vacha in Akigata Vacha Sutta, if you see, Vacha is a very great scholar and a very great, he knows grammar, he knows all of that. phonetics, etymology, all of that. And he knows how to debate. He comes to the Buddha, puts him Chatushkoti. The first Chatushkoti principle is unreal, real. Real, unreal. Exist, not exist. Not exist, exist. So if you take unreal, if that person answers unreal, then something real has become unreal. It was real, but now you made it unreal. If somebody were to say soul is not there, that means it was there earlier, now you made it not there. So now you tell me how. So in Buddha Dhamma, there is nowhere you will find anybody, Buddha talking about Atma, Anatma. There's nothing like that, because now you're taken a stand. If you take a stand, it means Atma existed. So now it doesn't exist. So when they translate it to Anitya, Dukkha, Anatma, so that means something was Nitya, permanent, now you made it impermanent. Now, if something called Atma was there, and now you made it Anatma, that means the Buddha Dhamma is Anatmavada. There's no one there. So somebody takes a gun and shoots at you. Anyway, you're not there, right? Why you should worry? So to whom hunger is? Don't eat. To whom? No, I am hungry. What hungry? I'll hit you one now. What do you mean you're hungry? There's nobody there. No, you just now said there's no one there. No anatma. That means Atma is there then. So this kind of Chatushkoti argument is how, after Mahayana started, Shankara was able to beat. Because Chatushkoti is a very nice debate. And nobody in that time of Shankara could do that. He was very straight hitting, one shot out, because they would take a stand now. Like in the case of Nagarjuna, after Nagarjuna, they took a stand. Take a stand. Got it. Now hit it. So this Chatushkoti, this kind of argument of Chatushkoti, Chatush means 4. Koti means crore. Crore means 10 million or 1 million or 1 billion basically. So, meaning you can make it that big. So don't think that, oh, there are 1 billion ways of argument. No. You can construct on that. And Buddha knew about it. So he never answered the 10 questions of any other tradition, including Vacha. So he comes and asks, Tathagata is there or not there? What? Tell me about Tathagata. There's 6 arguments on Tathagata and 4 arguments on this. On Loka 2 and on Jiva 2. So 4 plus 6, 10. So 10 unanswered. So Buddha would just sit silently like this. Because he knows, if we take a stand, it becomes deterministic. Absolutism. Yes, sorry.
So yeah, I mean, I've heard this explanation by you many times, but I wonder when it applies to this kind of prediction. Let's say Buddha says,
No. First we have to understand this. Now the prediction. This is not prediction. He can see it. That's what he's saying.
okay,
It's not about predicting. So there's a difference between Chatushkoti argument versus seeing it. Dasana. He can see it. That's what he's saying. He can see it. Like if I go to the previous section, he says he can see it.
in the sense, there's no time.
There's no time. There's no past, there's no present, there's no future. But by seeing him, with that manasikara, he can see where he is. Like that Buddha, Dipankara Buddha saw Sumedha and said, "You will be a Buddha in this shasana, in this time frame." That's what.
Yeah, or like with language, he has to put time. Like let's say some event has happened, he would say it'll pass away in 7 days.
Yes, exactly.
But in his seeing, there's no time. But he will say it like that.
Yes, because I shared you that sutta relating to the psychic power, right? In that he says in 7 days this person whom you're following will die, and it happens. How did he see it? What we call telepathy, what we call intuition, is nothing but cutting off time. There's no time. We can see it, but it happens later. Now he's seeing it, but it happens later. It takes so much time for this event to arrive there. Just like, somebody's already watched the movie. Take it this way, Aryu. I'll give you a very simple analogy. He's already watched the movie. He says, after intermission, 20 minutes down the line, you will see this scene. But I have never seen the movie, right? So I'm desperately waiting for intermission. Okay, intermission has come. And exactly after 20 minutes, oh my God, how did he know it? He's already seen the movie, right? I have not seen the movie, but that person has already seen the movie, right? Like that. That is different, and this is different. Absolutism is this, what we are talking, those 10 absolutism. This is actually seeing it. Yes, Shreyas.
So I'll first ask on this one. So I just got a question on this one, and then go back to my original question. So he can see that because he can see the chitta viti, right? Like how is it going to progress next? Because there's no time frame there. He can just see how the chitta is going to progress, and he'll know where it's going to end up, or like what is going to happen to the chitta.
Correct. That's correct. Because Buddha can understand all the chittas. See, the basic thing, Abhidhamma, is all about chitta. All the Abhidhamma is about chitta. That means there are 121 chittas. That means Buddha knows all 121 chittas. Okay. So there's nothing like he doesn't know. So it appears. So he can say, oh, 2 months from today, you will be this. Because it would take 2 months for that chitta to arrive there. It's just like, I take a flight here in Bangalore to San Francisco. It has left on time. I message Aryu that it is taken off. Before they say that you please switch off your mobile, then I have messaged Aryu. He knows that on an average it takes 17 hours to reach San Francisco. So should he arrive at airport as soon as I take a flight? There's no need. But after 17 hours, he needs to come to the airport. Because he knows the flight is going to arrive now. Something like that he knows even before I've taken the flight, let's say. So he would say, Vilas, in next few days, you're going to take a flight and I'll be meeting you at the airport on so-and-so date. Say, come on, Aryu, it's not possible. And surprisingly, that happens. I never expected. So Aryu is able to see what is happening in the near time or in the far time. So I say, Aryu, great. So can you tell me what next is going to happen to me? Aryu looks at my eyes and say, wait, don't blink your eyes. Let me read. Okay, now I'll tell you. So when I read the eyes, that's what I do. But I don't have that capability even at this Arya level. Some level I have, that's all. It takes me time. But I can see. Yes, you had another question. Yeah. So the other question was, can an arahant do the Yoniso Manasakara thing that Buddha does? Not to this level. Samma Sambuddha is different, and this is different. So if you want to know the limitation between Arhat and Samma Sambuddha, I suggest all of you study properly Mula Pariyaya Sutta MN1. That gives you clarity on what a Tathagata can do and what an Arhat can do. Arhats will still have defilements, but those defilements have ended. They are not going to trace back again. Just like I'll tell you one simple analogy. There is a sewage water, black color, flowing, huge, it stinks. Let's call it Raga Dvesha Moha. So one sane person thinks that if this river is so thick with this slush and dirt, why don't I make small kind of tributaries? One tributary, second tributary, third. So it gets cut. So now it is flowing in small, then small, and then small, and then comes as a stream. Then it stops somewhere with only the black patch being there. Anybody seeing there will say, this river, this filth river was flowing. But currently doesn't flow again. So if they were to go slightly ahead, there is no river of that and there's no smell of it. But if they go back, they can find this filthy river. In the same way, the defilements ended are like that of an arhat. Whereas in a Samma Sambuddha case, it's like pure Ganges. Is nothing which is filthy from the origin to the destination. And hence, to become a Buddha, it requires so many eons. Because you have to keep on removing all kind of problems, tribulations, this, that coming, and you have to keep on removing. So the filthy water for an arhat is no longer filthy. But you can trace that he had it. So he became a Sotapanna, then he became a Sakadagami, then he became an Anagami, then he is become an Arhat. Whereas in Samma Sambuddha, there's nothing like he becomes a Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. He is a Samma Sambuddha. That's a huge difference. This one is the same. Now you can see about himself and can see about others. Same one.
Sorry, teacher, I have to leave now because now there's lunch time.
Okay, sure.
So our whole Sanghais have to eat together.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much for
It's
joining.
It's a nice talk. Thank you so much, teacher.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye. Okay, so now this is what we need to understand about this in a very proper perspective, proper way. So let us also end at 9:30 today, because if I take the next section, it's going to be a long one. Because we are going to Sasattavada only. Are you the one which I was talking about? He's there. Sasattavada Desana. Any questions from anyone else, like Supriya, Kalpana, May, Vijaya? All have
No, thank you.
Okay, yeah, May. It's been hard to hear to your voice. Yes, good.
Sorry, it's noisy behind me.
Okay, no worries. Okay, any other? Yes, Ari, go ahead.
So in this 1.10, right, it talked about understanding even before practicing an instruction, he knows what end state this individual will be. But in 1.11, it only talk about, after someone has done the work, where is he current now? So I felt like 1.10, it's inclusive of 1.11. It's like a superset. So why is it put in that way? Why do you have to make a separate section for that?
Because it is Parapuggala Vimutta Jnana Desana. Parapuggala means what? Other Puggalas. See, this is Arya Puggala, the first one. See, Anusasana Vidha. These people are instructed. He knows about those who are instructed in his sasana. And he can see the same thing in those who are not instructed in his sasana.
So like one who is already following the Buddha's teaching, and the next one is the others.
Just like this guy, this person was that Bahia.
Bahia.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I have two comments, but I've seen one story from Pure Dhamma.net. He said the Buddha once arrived at the village and people were waiting for him to give a discourse. But he waited and waited until one farmer arrived, and then he started talking.
Correct.
Because he's able to see this person upon hearing, he can be the Sotapanna, where the others, may not have that potential. Which I guess he was able to see even whether they've been studying with him or not. He's able to see for anyone what's their potential, right? Which make it obvious after studying, he would be able to know now this is where he reached. But because before even talking, he already know that's going to be the case. So I felt like this section is less impressive than
it's
if you already have
less
the first.
Impressive or more impressive. Like I said in the initially itself, it is meant for non-Buddha followers. This entire sutta is not for bhikkhus. This is for those people who also have come to listen to Sariputta's lion roar. Yes, me. Yeah, May, go ahead. You raise a hand.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering, can you, by looking at people's eyes, can you also tell where? I know that you said that most people should know by themselves whether they're, where they are if they're in Arya. Can you see in their eyes where they might be, like, if they are?
Yes, I can do it if I spend good amount of time with them.
Ah, nice. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, you go ahead.
So this 1.11, so you were saying it's of others, meaning...
No, the entire this sutta, what we are talking about, I initially itself told you.
Yes, that I remember.
It's not for the bhikkhus. And that's the reason he says Samana Brahmana in many places. He doesn't say bhikkhus and then Samana Brahmana. He says Samana Brahmana. Have you seen? Go up, you'll see it.
Yeah, that I've seen. But you're saying this Parapukkala, you are saying these are people not from this dispensation, or? You
see the 10. It doesn't say Parapukkala. It says Anushasana, that one who is in the dispensation.
Yes, I think whether they're in or out, I think people can see. The Buddha can see.
Immaterial. Harry, please see it from a different perspective. Don't see from one single perspective. Yes, Buddha can see everything. Done. Then we don't require these many sections. This is to impress upon others who don't have faith in the Buddha. And they have come there. And he is saying how I see the Buddha. So you got the point. You are saying what's the need? Yes, there is no need. In fact, all these sections makes no sense for a person who's a Sotapan. But let's say somebody is just a Puggala. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I can see the point. Then I just want to technically understand. You were saying 1.11 are about everyone, not just people in this dispensation.
No, again,
right?
I'm repeating you. I don't know where I'm missing the point. This sutta is not for bhikkhus. Over.
Yes.
So he is saying if somebody is there in the Shasana, this is how Buddha can see. If somebody is not there in the Shasana, this is how Buddha can see. So in that way, 10 is different than 11.
Okay. I get the point now. So I think that's what I'm trying to ask. So 1.11 is for people who's
That
not
is what
in
it
this.
says. No, that is what he says here. Parapuggala.
Yeah, that's my question. I'm just trying to understand what this parapukala means.
Para
So people are
means
not
others.
this.
Para means others, not para. It's not para. It is para.
Okay.
This
I need to give you an example, right?
A should have a long this one or top on that A should have a dash, something like that, and then become pa. It is para. And in English also is put the knowledge and freedom of others.
I have a question, but Shreyas, you had something to say.
Yeah. So to give you an example, right? In a lot of suttas, you would have read that Buddha, he'll be meditating and he'll look at the world through his vision. Who is ready to get enlightened, right? And those people need not necessarily be in the Buddha's Shasana already, right? So I think this 1.11 is for those people.
Not only that, Shreyas, this entire sutta, if you read.
No, that's right. But in the context of 1.11.
No, you are also missing the point. It's like he is saying, Sariputta is saying, why am I doing a lion's roar? Buddha asked, without you experiencing any one of these, how can you do a lion's roar? So he's saying that I can do it through inference. I'm inferring it. I myself have not experienced all of it, but I'm inferring it. Yes, go ahead.
So previously I was just confirming what you mean. So this 1.11 is about others, people not from this dispensation, right?
That's what he says. No?
Yeah. Yes. That's the first. But my real question is, for people who are not in this dispensation or have not, in Dhamma, in Buddha Dhamma, they would not have become Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and all that, right?
That need not be the case, what he is saying here. In this, if they are doing whatever they are, see, ending of defilements is not a copyright of Buddha. Removal of Kamachanda and Vyapada is not a copyright of Buddha. It can be done by anyone, but you should know how to do it. Yes.
So, okay. I mean, it may take some time, but my understanding was there's Buddha, right? There's Sama Sambuddha, Pacceka Buddha, two kind of Buddha. And all others who are enlightened will be follow the Buddha, right? The Arhats will be following the Buddha.
Absolutely true. See, what is Arya? What is Arya? Arya means one who has understood how to remove Raga, Dvesha, Moha. Is there anything else other than that, Harry?
No, but I thought for someone to do that, they have to get the Dhamma from the Sangha.
Wait for a second. So, if somebody can teach someone how to let go of Raga, Dvesha, Moha, can he not experience Nibbana? He can. Now, if he can understand that, then he should have known that everything is arising and passing away. Yes or no? Yes. Then the question comes, how Buddha Dhamma is different in that case? The approach is different. The steps are there. In the other traditions, there are no steps. You just believe it to be rather than seeing it for yourself. Now, in the case of Sanjaya Pelati Putta, in the case of Nigantanatha Putta, all of this, they are not small people. Even in the case of Alara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta, what has happened is people think, Alara Kalama is to get into the state of Alara Kalama is a penance. Forget Uddaka Ramaputta. He is far higher than Alara Kalama himself. So when we talk so light on someone, we really don't understand that how much they have put their effort. Right? So what's the difference? The difference here is that defilements are still there. What Buddha wanted to do, or what Gautama wanted to do, is to find a solution to this defilement, because with the defilement being there, there's a rebirth is there. Simple as that. So he was in search of it. Wait for a second. Now, if there is a sasana called as Buddha sasana, there is another thing which is non-Buddha sasana. If that teacher in that other tradition is able to explain to the person step by step how to remove the defilements, then there is no difference between the Buddha sasana and this. The only difference here is that in the Buddha sasana, you have perfect steps how to establish sila, that is missing in other tradition. How to establish samadhi, that is missing in other tradition. How you can get the panya, that is missing in other tradition. Now, missing in the sense what? It's not clear. Like I'll give you some example. In the Vedic tradition, there's sila, and there are different kind of samadhis, different kind of panya. That's slightly confusing. Slightly confusing. Okay? But if somebody were to get it, like Bahiya, it works. He's not a Buddha follower.
But he became one when hearing the Buddha. He got the Dhamma from
But that is how we are reading it. But Buddha never said, you become my follower and then I'll teach you this. He just said, Bahiya, here is what I have to tell you. In seeing, only seeing. In hearing, only hearing. In doing. In fact, when Bahiya died, these people did not know that he has extinguished. And that is what this Parapuggala Vimukti Jnana Desana is all about. That means Buddha can even see those other traditions who have become Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. Because these people, these monks who were going, they came and told the Buddha that this person has died. A cow has killed him. And he said, Buddha said that why don't you carry this person and do as you would do for your brethrens? And one of that monk got confused. So he asked, where is he getting reborn? Because Buddha was able to see every being reborn. Right? Chuti Papata Jnana is not something that he only knows. If they're Buddhist, they'll be born here. If it's non-Buddhist, I don't care. No. Of all the beings he can see. Because of that, this monk comes and asks, where is he born? And he says, he will never be reborn. He got extinguished. And that surprises the community. How can that happen? He says, he understood. He never troubled me. That is there in the Bahid Darucharya Sutta itself, right? So, Ariu, just to tell you this, is that if in the other tradition, they can have a process, they can have a step-by-step instruction, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Perfect. Since they don't have it like that, they categorize being by caste. They can say this is a Brahmin class, this is a Kshatriya or Khattiya class, this is a Vessa class, this is a Sudra class, this is a Christian, this is a Muslim, this is this is that, like that. Because we don't have a way of doing it. So what Sariputta is saying is, irrespective of they are in the sasana or not in sasana, Buddha can know whether they are on the Arya Magga, irrespective of Buddha follower. Please understand. Irrespective. Why? Because they have somehow come to know how to do it themselves. The samana, they become samana. That means they can put their own effort. Yeah, May wanted to ask question. Let her finish this. Then again I'll take yours. Yes, May, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the other thing I found with some of the other traditions was that there is no the tilakana. You can't see the anicca, dukkha, anatta in a lot of the traditions. And maybe the rites and rituals might be different, and a lot of them is just like meditating on God or something. So their views are different, isn't it? So it might lead you again towards one track, a different track, I guess.
No, that's correct. So there are two things which are going to happen in the other tradition. Number one, or any tradition, is that number one, you have to rely on something. When you rely on something, it makes it things permanent because you can see all the past lives and you see you exist. So it means that the Sattavada, the next section is a Sattavada that is going to happen. And that gives you Nitya Sanya because it's there. It's always there. Right? So there's no dukkha because you're going to be there in a better existence than this existence. So if I'm having pain here now, I can get relief of the pain later. Right? And then there is Atta because my self, I can do something. I can remove the pain. Just like, if I've fallen somewhere, so will I just be like this? No, I'll do something to get rid of the pain. I'll do something. So that gives me Atta Bhava. So Anicca Dukkha Anatta is replaced by Nitya Sukha Atta and hence Subha. So the Tilakana, if somebody, some other tradition, is able to put that person on a foundation, the 10 immoral deeds are there for every religion. It's not only Buddha's view. Samadhi, when he comes to Samadhi, there are two portions in Samadhi, or rather three portions Samadhi, which are missing. The first portion is there, Samatha, there in every tradition. In fact, every Indian tradition has Samatha. Main thing. The second one, Vipassana, investigation, is there in some tradition, but not completely there. Like in the case of Ramana Maharshi, that person started, who am I? That's Vipassana. If somebody says that's not Vipassana, then what's Vipassana? But it has a limitation. It comes to I. I am. I am this soul. I'm not the body, but I'm not the mind, but I'm the soul. So he holds on to the soul. Because now he can see all his past life and see that he's been there. So the Vijnana is still going to be strong. It's going to be there. It's going to exist in a good existence. That's right. So this is the problem. Yeah. In the case of Buddha, he divides that samadhi into three parts: samatha, vipassana, anupassana. For Neya like us, you require vipassana more because you require anupassana to remove the dirt. Whereas in the first category, Ugaditanyu, he requires only samatha. He doesn't require vipassana. So what really happens here in this 11.1? If somebody who is meeting the Buddha, he's not from he's from some other tradition, but he is a person who knows exactly what to do. The Buddha just had to tell him, do this. Because he can see, like in many of the suttas. The Brahmin comes and he asks something, and then he says something, and then he says, this is what you need to do. And then that person, by the end of the discourse, becomes an arhat. He's not a Buddha follower to just come and sit and then do all of that kind. He's such a great sage. He comes and talks to the Buddha. Right? So we need to see it from that light. It need not be that the Tilakana is the only thing that is worth mentioning in the Buddha Dhamma, even though for Neya, that's a majority thing to be taken. And we all are Neya. We are Neyo people. That means you require guidance. Neya meaning is guidance. So you require somebody to guide. You can't do it yourself. Absolutely, it's impossible. Either you require sutta, you require some bhante, you require this or that or whatever. You can't do it yourself. Not possible. So that's the reason we are dhandha vinya. We have to put in a lot of pain. We have to take a lot of pain. Okay. Now, in that we can find some three categories where somebody is fast, somebody is slow, somebody is slowest, something like that. But all within Neya. And that's the reason yesterday I shared that also, just to make you aware that these are the four Puggalas which are in the Buddha Shasana identified, but that doesn't mean that only these people and nobody else. In Indian traditions, with the Buddhism, Jainism, this ism, that ism, earlier on, there were no ism, there is no boundaries. There is only philosophy. There's nothing like you belong to this. They all are in search of freedom from suffering. So it's got nothing to do with, oh, they don't know. Very good. No, it's nothing like that. There's no challenge or anything like that. There are debates to tell, look, mine, what I'm following is basically right. I'm coming from so and so teacher. This is right. But here he's saying, I can still find out if somebody in that tradition, whatever they are, can they follow this? In some thing, a person comes, he questions the Buddha, and he says, you better be in that tradition only. I think you would have seen some suttas. There he says, you be in that tradition. I will not allow you going forth in this. Why? Because it is better for him to get released from that rather than starting all over again. In some suttas, Buddha gives a permission and that person says, I want to be considered as a lay follower, even though I am a bhikkhu. Consider me as a lay follower. In some suttas, Buddha will say that as an exception, I am taking this decision to allow you at the same level. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I mean, we're over time, and I want the discussion to end rather than expand. So I just want to clarify what I learned. I mean, this other or not other. I mean, I understand now. There's nuance. But for my understanding previously, I thought Bahiya, even though he only heard one sentence from the Buddha, this spark of say his enlightenment came from Buddha, right? So I used to consider him getting his enlightenment from Buddha, right? But I think what you're saying is that there are, I mean, of course, I also understand there's this particular Buddha and all the other people who are, capable of awakening even without teaching of the Buddha. But I think what you're also saying is that there are some other traditions, other teachers who are capable of bringing people to Sotapanna, Sakanagami, Anagami, even Arhat. That does not come from a Sammasambuddha necessarily, or maybe some residues from past, but not in this sasana.
No, what he's saying, see how he is able to read it then there is no, like what you rightly said, Ariu, there is no need for having this section itself. If the other tradition can't do it, then why mention it in the first place? So it's very straightforward, right? 11.1 makes no sense. Why it is put here, as in the case of Bahir, as in the case of Ambatta, as in the case of many other people, they are not from Buddha Shastra at all. But they can penetrate. It's a penetration which changes rather than whether you're in the Buddha Shasana or not Buddha Shasana. So when the Buddha sees them, he can read and find out he's a Sotapanna, even though he doesn't know anything about what Buddha is trying to talk about. That's the reason we need to understand the four Puggalas, which I shared yesterday. We are today in Neyo. We can't do anything here. We have to take it at face value that it can happen because we can't see it like that. We are not in Ugatitanyu. We are not in any other thing. Vipachitanyu, Ugatitanyu makes sense because Ugatitanyu people require samatha. Vipachitanyu requires samatha vipassana. Whereas Neyo, only vipassana. The samatha practice is just to calm down the mind and you require sila nirdesa. You can't get any other nirdesa for a neyo, whereas for a Ugatitanyu, there's nothing called a sila nirdesa. Adichitta, adisikha, adi, what is that? Sila. So we are on sila. That means our sila is so weak. So you have to establish from there. So can we see these people? No, we can't. So we have to take it at face value. Yeah, Buddha can read other traditions. That's a reason called Parapuggala Vimukti Jnana Desana. Because para, others. Hope I could explain in a better way using many things, but we have to take it by grain of sand.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I just wasn't sure this parapukala. Yeah, like you said, there's no need. So I was wondering, and now you explained that what parapukala mean. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it also says that others. Para means others. See, in while we were doing the Jhana Sutta, if you remember this, Parato, others. Consider as other, not yours. Other. But in Kannada also it is the same word. In Sanskrit it is the same word. Many Indian languages have para. Apara means not other. Para means other. So anyway, good discussion, good debate. Nice one. Appreciate.
Wait, sorry. Upara means what? Even the 1.10 says upara, right? Upara.
Yeah,
Pukala.
not others.
Not other. Oh, the translation had another individual. That's why.
Aparam.
Okay. Not, so it means of this tradition.
Of this tradition.
Oh, okay. Loss of translation.
Yes, loss of translation. Aparam panabhante. In this. Para means in that. This and that. All right. No other questions from any other people? Last. We still have some 5 minutes left. No? Good. All understood. These two. Okay. Good night.